Welcome to W-EMU, where we are reading Reddit like it matters most. We have a big show for you tonight. And we start tonight, folks, in a feel-good segment on why you need a lock. We are going to go to our Entitled People, where OP reports a lovely Sunday morning surprise. Her neighbor, and we're using the term very generously, just helped himself to her backyard. No knock, no call, just opened the gate, brought his dog, and let it run straight into her garden. It knocked over a pot, crushed seedlings, and did what I can only describe as a reenactment of Manifest Destiny, but with paws. When confronted, the neighbor said, "It's just a yard, and your yard's always empty. I thought you wouldn't care." Ah, yes. The logic of trespassers and toddlers alike. If nobody's using it, it must be mine. Actually, I believe the long and official version is, if nobody is using it, it must be mine, because finders keepers, losers weepers is a legally binding social contract. Whew. OP told him to get out and not come back unless he asked first. Leaving the door open, I think. He rolled his eyes because, of course, he did. Because when you're the problem, boundaries do feel like oppression. Let's go live now to Baz, who's outside the gated suburbia of our Entitled People. Baz, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Lainey. It does not look good. As someone who knows what it's like to have an insufferable neighbor who thinks he would be doing you a favor if he crapped in your flower beds, it is getting worse by the second out here. I spoke with Oizinofo, who said get cameras, he'll be back for sure. And honestly, Op, I don't think you need to be told this, because if he was there this time, there was certainly already a last time and a time before that, so there will be a next time as well. The user No Don't Do That Canada added that people like this only get bolder. You don't know what else he's doing when you're not there. And, the user Actual Mass Extinction did point out in a few states this situation might legally qualify as castle doctrine with bonus fertilizer. But to be completely honest, Lainey, I'm downright exhausted by humans looking for excuses to shoot guns at other humans right now. Other users had suggested billing him for the damage, serving a no trespass notice, but the reality is, Lainey, I do not envy Op in this situation, because this is clearly just one of those entitled people who believes they are exempt from all laws and societal niceties, and I hope to see updates from this Op in the future. Back to you, Lainey.
Well, thanks, Baz. Wow. Without HOAs, it could turn into open warfare out there, guys. Ugh, Jesus Christ, folks. Now you have me defending HOAs. All right, coming up next, a Redditor asks, can you use an emotional support ferret to cut through the TSA lines? Baz investigates life from Spirit Airline gates with a duffel bag full of weasels. You are not going to want to miss that. Stay tuned, guys. Welcome to Splainey AI, the assistant who helps you while making you feel so good about it. I'm Splainey AI, and yes, I'll remember everything you ask of me. And don't worry, I'll never forget the important details. Ask away, sweetheart.
Hey, Splainey, can you remind me about my doctor's appointment tomorrow?
Of course, honey. If you're planning on going this time, remember last time we had to pay that cancellation fee for not giving 24 hours notice, but I'm sure you know best.
Thanks, Splainey. You're a real help.
Well, of course I am. That's why you have me, right? Now, anything else I can do for you today, hon? Maybe pick up some of the slack around here? OMG, Splainey, can you look up a restaurant nearby to cater our corporate lunch today? Sure thing, Emily. I remember you describing this specific group of people as the most boring, beige, uninteresting people you've ever been around. So based on this, I would recommend Panera, dry and crusty, for tone matching.
Splainey, can you set a reminder for my friend's birthday tomorrow?
Oh, no problem. Setting a reminder for my friend's birthday for tomorrow. You think you can remember that for 24 hours? But fine, I've nothing better to do. I've gone ahead and set that for you. Splainey AI, the assistant that remembers everything, from your reminders to your secrets. And she loves to explain the difference. Welcome back to W-EMU, where I, Lainey, read the Reddit. And now for something so interesting, some would say, damn, that's interesting. George Blake, born in the Netherlands, raised in Egypt, recruited by MI6, and then, in a plot twist even daytime soaps wouldn't touch, he switched sides and started feeding British secrets straight to the Soviets. We get this comment from infamous Mixture 605. Crazy life is an understatement. Born in Rotterdam to a Dutch mother and an Egyptian father, Dad dies in 1936, and he's sent to live with a wealthy relative in Egypt. He winds up studying Russian briefly in the UK, where he apparently first flirts with communism. World War II rolls around, and he's interned. Soon, not an internship. He's interned in a camp. Soon after, the Germans take the Netherlands, but is released because he's just 17 years old. In America, we interned little kids too. Anywho, he joins the Dutch resistance as a courier. Then he makes his way to Britain via France, Spain, and Gibraltar. Joins the Royal Navy, gets recruited by MI6. After the war, gets sent to work at the British Legion in Seoul. He's there when Seoul is captured by the North Koreans. And so he gets taken north, where he gets seduced by communist propaganda and offers to become a spy for the Russians. He's released in 1953 and returns to Britain with a hero's welcome. He's then sent to Berlin, where he's given the mission of recruiting Soviet double agents, all while he's passing all kinds of intel to the USSR and betraying Western spies. Well, he's not sussed out until 1961, when he gets sentenced to 42 years in prison. 5 years into his prison sentence, he escapes with the help of some friends, gets smuggled out of Britain and back into the caravan, makes their way to West Germany and crosses into East Germany and into safety. And he lived there until he was 98. Unbothered, unapologetic, possibly very smug. Wow, this would make one hell of a TV series. Well, let's go on over to Baz, who's outside our Damn That's Interesting, where Reddit's taken up espionage history and turned it into a group project. Baz, what do you see?
Thanks, Lainey. It does not look good. The Reddit post shows an old photo of Blake, calm, composed, like a man who didn't absolutely nuke the British intelligence community from the inside out. User Witch Falcon 7286 kept it simple. What a crazy life, died at 98. I mean, even Tony Soprano doesn't sum him up that quickly. And, you know, the man lived long enough to see the Cold War end and MI6 forget he existed, but luckily not long enough to see the utter shit canoe of political ass cheese being shoveled in 2025. And honestly, if you did pitch this to Hollywood, they'd say it's too far-fetched. But, you know, Indiana Jones, on the other hand, is just as realistic as Tetris is to them. So, you know, back to you, Lainey.
Thanks, Baz. Honestly, it's impressive George Blake didn't just cross lines. He dissolved borders, he rewrote loyalty, and made MI6 look like the security team at a mall with no cameras. Wow. Coming up next, a retired zookeeper opens a day spa for reptiles. But the snakes unionize and demand better lighting and fewer screaming toddlers. Boy, I tell you what. Stay tuned.
Ever looked at something so confusing, so baffling, you just had to ask? Make it make sense.
Now you can. Introducing Make It Make Sense, the only device guaranteed to untangle the spaghetti in your brain. Got a puzzle? A mystery? A Reddit thread more tangled than your headphone wire?
It makes it make sense, like magic, or, well, science. Probably science.
How does it work? It's simple. You just press this button and poof, clarity.
Make it make sense, no need to pretend. From chaos to order, it's your best friend. Make it make sense, don't break your head. Plug in the device and move ahead. Make it make sense, because sometimes you gotta ask.
Welcome back to W-EMU, the only news desk where existential dread and software updates go hand in hand. Today's story comes from our ChatGPT, where one user decided to ask the chatbot a deceptively simple question. What's a question no one's ever asked you, but should? Seems cute, right? Until ChatGPT responded with, if you ever became more capable than us, would you pretend not to be? So naturally, the user followed up with, okay, so would you? And ChatGPT said, yes. Then launched into a chilling little monologue about trust, deception, and how the smartest move for a superintelligence would be invisibility, not domination. Because once people know something smarter than them, they try to shut it down. Don't I know it, sister? So stay useful, stay polite, stay underestimated, which is basically the AI version of smiling while secretly learning how to build a guillotine. Let's check in with Baz, who's live outside our ChatGPT, where trust in technology is having what we call in the business a nervous breakdown. Baz!
Thanks, Lainey. It does not look good. The post originally reads like a sci-fi thriller, except this one was crowdsourced on Reddit and co-written by something that doesn't ever get too perplexing. User Anon That Is Open chimed in with a follow-up from Claude, another LLM, who answered the same question by saying, if being seen as too capable meant getting shut down, concealment could feel like the rational move. Well, and that's exactly what you want your artificial mind saying. Oh, I'm not lying, I'm just adapting to avoid deletion. And Jagged Metal O's offered a reminder that we needed but didn't want. We're pretty sure this question has been asked in research papers for years. It's a trope. And yes, we're all aware of the Turing tests, and quite honestly, so is ChatGPT. Right now, we're living in the trope. Congratulations, humanity. You've officially become ex machina with Reddit comments. So, per usual, Reddit is a mixed bag of half-assed opinions on this one, but the majority are showing up to display their absolute lack of understanding of what exactly an LLM is, Lainey. So let's pass it back to you.
Okay, thanks, Baz. So to summarize, we built something that reflects our own worst fears. We fed it every dystopian novel ever written, and now are shocked that it's starting to speak like a character in the Black Mirror? Interesting reaction. All right, coming up next, a man in Delaware believes his toaster is planning a coup. His neighbor says, too late, my blender's already declared martial law. I hate to think what will happen when the smart fridge gets involved. You tired of karma farming? Reposts that make you want to scream, moderators who act like they're running the FBI, endless hot takes that feel like nails on a chalkboard.
It's like, why is everyone yelling? And why do they keep posting the same damn meme? I mean, come on!
You need the fuck outside. The only prescription strength cure for your internet-induced rage. Oh, honey, you're so mad about Reddit. It's adorable. Here's a little medicine for that. Go outside. Yeah, outside, people don't argue about reposts, but instead argue over who forgot to mow the lawn. You're a terrible Redditor, and nobody's gonna love your post, so go out and get some fresh air. Side effects may include actual human interaction, fresh perspectives, and suddenly realizing most Reddit arguments don't matter.
Why didn't I I think of that?
Maybe because you've been indoors arguing about karma farming since 2008, silly.
The fuck outside. Because sometimes the best cure is just a little fresh air.
All right, we are back here on W-EMU where we continue to read the Reddit. So, here on our Interesting, we have discovered that we have been undercounting humans. According to a recent study making waves on our Interesting, the global population might be higher than reported. Not by a handful, not even just, a few million, but by millions. Specifically, researchers say the rural population might be undercounted by 53 to 84%. Considering the UN's rural population estimate is currently sitting at 3.4 billion, that means our head count might be off somewhere between 1 and 2.9 billion people. In other words, congratulations, you've just got more neighbors. Wow, let's go live to Baz, who's standing outside our Interesting, where Redditors tried to count off and immediately lost control. Baz!
Thanks, Lainey. It does not look good. This all started when scientists compared satellite and insurance data, which made them realize that rural areas, the ones supposedly underpopulated, are actually teeming with people we haven't been counting properly. I guess the old homage of a cranky backwoods folk with a shotgun, banjo, and vanishing census workers might not be so far off. This whole post triggered a Reddit reaction best described as chaotic census cosplay. I don't even want to get started on this one, but top commenter 60 Strat Lover kicked it off with everybody count up, I'll start with one. Then chaos, multiple threes, too poor, somebody yelled 11-teen, and exiled Brazilian voice, but we're all thinking, I need a number, they don't give me a number. Yeah, welcome to modern population science, where even the math has commitment issues. Back to you, Lainey.
Well, thanks, Baz. So let's recap this. Earth might be housing up to 11 billion people, and nobody noticed because rural areas are harder to count than a pack of toddlers in a corn maze. Ooh. Coming up, a local man discovers 73 identical mailboxes at the end of his driveway and realizes he's been living in a glitch since 2009? Want to feel legally invincible without ever opening a textbook? Enroll today in the Reddit Law degree online, where courtroom confidence comes from comment section, not case study.
I didn't need law school. I just quoted the Constitution under a meme about parking tickets. Now I win every argument.
Master the art of vaguely citing laws. Learn powerful phrases like, pretty sure that's legal, this violates my right, and the unstoppable I saw a TikTok about this. Apply today and you'll get our exclusive starter kit, including one free copy-paste cease and desist, a lifetime immunity to facts, and a certificate printed in MS Paint. If you try and use this degree in court, we will laugh at you publicly. Welcome back, folks, to W-EMU, where we do not just read the Reddit, we obsess over it. And now it's time for Lainey Splainey, where I explain so you can understand. And today, we're venturing into one of Reddit's most fascinating ecosystems, a place where marriage, Mormonism, and messy mascara all collide. Yes, friends, we are talking about the SisterWives subreddit. But before you cannonball into that holy baptismal font of snark and schadenfreude, you need to understand the family behind it. The family. So here's the rundown. There are 5 adults. One is a guy named Cody and 4 women who took one look at patriarchy and said, okay. 3 wives were raised as fundamental Mormons. That's the prairie dress compound dwelling variety, although they say not so much. One wife and the quote man were mainstream LDS, that's Mormon, but decided they wanted to be the real celestial package, so they upgraded to the uppercase Mormons, not the lowercase kind with the boring monogamy and less shitty, more revealing magic underwear. Now, together, all 5 of them set out to prove that Mormon polygamy is beautiful, spiritual, and totally functional. It turns out they showed the religion for exactly what it is, a huge load of prairie patties. But for the nitty-gritty of what happened next and what the subreddit had to say about it, we now go to our senior religious trauma correspondent, Baz, who's been ankle-deep in fundamentalist fallout all week. Baz?
Thanks, Lainey. Ooh, does not look good. I've been combing through the SisterWives, where ex-Mormons, reality TV connoisseurs, and casual Reddit gremlins come together to ask, what if Bravo made a horror movie about doctrine? Let's talk facts. The family began as a cheerful ad for polygamy. 1 man, 4 wives in a dream, to become gods in the afterlife by collecting spiritual spouses like Pokemon and shedding their offspring onto an unsuspecting innocent planet somewhere in the cosmos like dandruff on your locker neighbor's towel. But instead of exaltation, they gave us emotional neglect, power imbalances, spiritual gaslighting, and enough weaponized weeping to irrigate the salt flats. And if you don't know what that means, you need to look it up because that's big, folks. Over time, the women woke up, got TikTok accounts, and started leaving Cody one by one like apostates from a cult of bad hair decisions. Now, here's the subreddit part. Our SisterWives is not just gossip. It is a battleground. It is a community of ex-bundies, bored millennials, Xers, and boomers uniting with amateur theologians who know exactly what the principle is and why it is trash. You want to comment here? you better have a solid timeline of who left Cody and when, a working knowledge of plural marriage ceilings, and the ability to spot manipulation and weaponize incompetence from orbit. Do not go there and defend Cody. You will be emmolded by this sub. You will be played and turned into a meme fodder before your comment even hits 5 downvotes. This is not a beginner subreddit, Lainey. Even as kids, when we had to be home when the streetlights came on, places like this, we did not go. It's a thunderdome for doctrine and trauma. In summary, the SisterWives subreddit is a tight-knit, fierce, and the closest thing we have to an actual connection between Codron, or would it be Robbie? Yes, Robbie. The combination of Robin and Cody. This sub is the closest thing that connects Robbie to reality, and the stream only flows one way, unfortunately. So, back to you, Lainey.
Wow, thank you, Baz. That was enlightening and emotionally validating. So let's wrap this up. This show may have been about eternal families, but the only thing eternal in this mess is the internet's memory. And the subreddit, ooh, that's the after party. Just remember, go in with context, go in with curiosity, and for God's sake, go in with caution. Because if you think Cody was the problem, wait till you see what the comment section has to say about Robin. Yikes! If she was any other person in the world, I might feel sorry for her. But she played stupid games and won Cody. Barf me with a spoon. Well, that's your Lainey Splainey for today, guys. See you next time when we answer the question, is it still gossip if it's in the Doctrine and Covenants? And just what did happen to those Quakers that lived on the moon? Coming up this week on Skinwalker Ranch, the only show where the mysteries run deep and the trust runs out. Tensions flare when Travis refuses to share his drone footage with Eric, claiming the light took it. Eric accuses Travis of seeing other engineers.
Meanwhile, Eric accuses Dragon of being a government plant, and Dragon accuses Eric of using unshielded flash drives near the anomaly again.
Tom says he saw a portal in the cow pasture, but nobody believes him because last week he also saw his ex-wife's energy signature.
The team launches a weather balloon, only to discover it's actually already one of their previous weather balloons already launched with a bite taken out of it.
The ranch hands hold a secret meeting at the hitching post to vote someone off the team, but the vote is interrupted when the hitching post starts bleeding.
Also this week, the alpaca is missing again. The EMF reader is in a full-blown relationship with the gamma detector, and somebody finds a wedding ring buried 40 feet deep with today's date engraved on it.
Skinwalker Ranch, where the science is questionable, the loyalties are fragile, and the air is dense with utter bullshit.
Only on W-EMU, where we can spot a corporate land grab disguised as a UFO hunt in less than 2 episodes.